Alex, how are you doing today?
What up?
I have great news for you to hear today.
What is it?
Alright. Mask of Ghirardelli was stolen in New York City from Museum La Amonda. And
what is the mask of What's the mask?
Mask of Ghirardelli. It was originally from French, and then somehow it came in Paris, and it has a really great story behind it. When it was like World War II broke out, the Mask of Ghirardelli was stolen from the French missionaries in Indonesia, and then it came to the Museum of La Paris.
Okay, enough of the history lesson. So, is it stolen?
Yes, it's stolen.
And how much is it worth?
$2 million. That's a great amount. That's a really, really big amount.
Yeah, it is. Okay. So how are we going to find out who stole it? I mean, if it's already gone, and who knows how many people are in the museum? That thing's probably packed.
No, actually, it was on January 12th, and it was under the heavy winter storm around, and it was only 4 suspects that were actually working there in the museum. They were Janet, Professor McClure, Freddie, and Sam. They were working there, and all 4 employees, they were the ones there at the time of the incident.
Alright, well, Professor McClure, he has a history with the department. He came from Brazil, and he was a thief. He got kicked out of there for stealing stuff, so...
He can be our suspect, and all the other 3 as well.
Alright.
I think we should interview all the suspects and find out what's going on and see what they had to say about this incident.
Of course. I say we start with the professor.
Okay.
Alright. Let's go.
Alright, let's go.
Alright. Professor McClure.
Yeah.
Now, I hear that you were in the museum the night the mask of Ghirardelli was stolen. You have a history of stealing things. I mean, you were like a klepto back in Brazil or something. Like, what's up with that? So, just know that we're gonna be using that information in our investigation.
I was only accused. They never proved it.
Alright, so what is your background story overall?
I was working at a museum in Buenos Aires, and some Mayan jewelry disappeared, and I was accused. I retired.
Okay, what were you doing the night that the mask was stolen? Where did you go? Like, what's up with you, McClure?
Well, I was repairing a Native American adobe dwelling for an upcoming exhibit, and I sliced myself with a scalpel, and I was going to the bathroom to clean it up, and the power went out, and I heard a crash from the Mesopotamia. I saw someone running or something, and I tried to make them stop, but they didn't, and then I ran into the room of the exhibit, and it was already broken and stolen. I don't know what happened.
Alright, that's a likely story. We'll see how much that holds up, though. Now, you said you cut yourself, so that means your DNA is all over the crime scene. So, I say we go tell the science department that they have some DNA coming in. And we're going to compare it to your DNA that's already on file. So, you may hear from us again, Professor.
Hello, Sam. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine. What's up with your helmet? What's going on? Tell me about it.
I'm a security agent, if you didn't know that. And since I'm a senior nighttime security agent, I gotta have some protection for all the happenings going on in that museum. That museum don't guard itself, you know.
So I hear you were at the museum at the night of the incidents. What were you doing?
Well, I was at the museum, yes, and the power went out. So, as it went out, I was in the bathroom at the time, and I was in there for quite a while, and when I got out, I had gone to the generator room to turn it back on, but then Freddie came out from there, which I found suspicious, because Freddie doesn't ever go down the generator room, and that's when the power came back on. So then we heard a crash, and then we went and we investigated the Mesopotamia room, and then we found Janet in there with the professor sitting over the broken case, and the mask was gone.
Why were you bleeding since you got cut in the morning? Why were you still bleeding around that time?
Well, you see, I got cut because I was helping my mom with her bed in the hospital. I cut myself on the bed, but
medical traps, all the stuff on there. And the reason why I'm still bleeding is because I got that disease. You know that one disease, what's it called? Damn, what is that called? Hemophilia, where you just get cut, like a little cut, and it just keeps bleeding. Bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. I've had that problem since I was young. Almost died when I fell off a tire swing. I remember this one time I was on the back of the car.
Okay, I get it. You can stop now. Well, with all your DNA and blood, everything on the incident happening, we'll investigate about your DNA and we'll get back to you with the results and what's actually going on. Thank you.
Hello, you're Janet Summers?
Yes, I'm Janet Summers.
Alright, well it says here on your file that you come from Atlanta, and this says you're married, but you just go ahead and tell me your story.
Well, I was married to this guy, but he's convicted of fraud and he's sent into prison, and I have a son to raise now. I got so much issues going on financially, mentally, physically. I'm so tired all the time. I need some time by my own self, but apparently I don't got no time for myself. And now I have to help out my son by me working on myself, and he's just working around and still being lazy but around.
Let's talk about the museum now. Where were you, and what were you doing on the night that the mask of the mask was stolen?
Well, at the night of the stolen mask incident, I was in the cafe with my son Freddie, and we were just chatting there and I went down to check on my friend Sam, and I was just going down there, and I heard this loud crash from Mesopotamia room, which I went down there to run to investigate what's going on. And surprisingly, I see the love statue was broken. It was on the ground, and I heard Dr. McClure from Pacific Islands room and saw him there standing over an empty case, and saw that the mask was gone and his arm, and he was bleeding from his cut arm.
Well, I know that you were cut because we found your DNA at the scene on the love statue. So your DNA is there as well, and it's also being analyzed in the lab. But enough of that. You said that you're no longer married, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not married either. And this stuff is, you know, this whole accusing and interviewing, it gets kind of stressful. So you want to, like, go out sometime, go to a cafe or somewhere?
No, I'm not interested. Thank you.
Fine. Alright, so you're Freddie, Janet's son, right? We're not interviewing the wrong person now, are we?
Nope, I'm Freddie.
We are interviewing the four of you who are at the museum for the mask of the G mask.
Oh yeah, the mask. I don't know where it is. I don't have anything to do with that. It was somebody else.
Well, we're not accusing you exactly that you are the criminal. We're just trying to find out what's going on and what the situation is. So why don't you start off with telling us about you?
I graduated from Georgia State University in Atlanta, and I went up to New York and started graduate school there, and I kind of got expelled. I got caught cheating on a test because the night I was supposed to be studying, I was smoking too much dope. It was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. That wacky backy.
Oh yeah, those are the good days. But anyways, back to my story. I got caught cheating on a test, and they expelled me, and they want their money back. And so I'm kind of in some trouble right now. My mom doesn't know, so don't tell her. But anyways, so I was in the cafe with my mom and having some coffee, and the lights went out. So my mom told me to go downstairs to hit the generator, get the lights going again. I ran downstairs, got the lights going, and when I came back up, Sam was right there. And I noticed a cut on his arm, but I didn't get to ask him about it because we heard a loud crash in the Mesopotamia room, and we took off towards there to see what happened.
Alright, well your DNA was not found at the scene, so because you have no cuts obviously, so we're not going to be able to analyze it. We're just going to go ahead and let you go. But before you go, could you put in a good word with your mom? The interview kind of ended badly last time with the eraser, and some words were said, and